Anime Christmas episodes are a classic staple for a lot of shows, right up there with the beach episode or inappropriate sister touching. And since it's the season for it, for Christmas, not the sister stuff, I thought it would be fun to watch a bunch of anime Christmas specials and kind of put them in a loose order of least to most Christmas. So let's dive in, and maybe by the end, we can see what the real spirit of Christmas is about. First up, a little show that you might know. Sword Art Online. In Sword Art, a new MMO called Sword Out has hit the market. You put on a helmet and completely dive into the game. Well, on day one, the creator comes through and tells everybody playing that if you die in the game, you will die in real life. The helmet will fry your brain. They have to get together and beat the 100 floors of the tower dungeon. And our main guy is Kirito. He was a beta tester and he's really good at the game. He's well known in their world as a strong solo player, making him cool as fuck. And we're looking at episode 3, titled The Red-Nosed Reindeer. Kirito starts hanging out with a lower level group of kids his age, yo. They all go to school together in real life. How neat. He joins their guild, the Moonlit Black Cats, and he helps them level up. There's a member of the group, Sachi, who is very afraid of dying. She runs away at one point, and Kirito finds her and comforts her. Listen, Sachi, you aren't gonna die. I swear it, no matter what. I swear it by my sword and my strength. She finds comfort in that. Whoa, has our hero finally stopped being a solo player? Well, they go into a dungeon one day and find this secret room with a treasure, but it's a trap. A bunch of high-level mobs spawn, and Kirito tries to get them all, killing each of them in one slash. But his new young friends all die one by one. Look at this guy getting whomped on. Those were his last moments of life. He's not from a fantasy world where things like this are normal. He's just a boy who wanted to play a game, and now he's dead as fuck. Sachi looks him in the eyes, says thanks, then dies hard. Months later, it's Christmas time in the game. Yo, it's a Christmas event. Kirito hears that if you beat the special boss from the event, you get an item that resurrects people. He figures out where it's gonna spawn under this big old Christmas tree, and a big googly eyed Santa spawns, and Kirito runs at it yelling. And in regular Sword Art fashion, they don't show the fight. That was probably really cool. It just cuts to after where he's won and he got the item, and it can resurrect people, but only within 10 seconds of a person's death. He can't bring his friends back to life. Later that night, he gets a note from Sachi. She sent it before she died big time in that room. It's all sad and like, thank you for being nice to me. Then she hums Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer as Kirito cries, Merry Christmas. How Christmas was that? Not very. One part of the episode took place during Christmas and you barely see Santa. It was depressing though. So let's move on to a classic. Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon is about a high school girl, Serena, who saves a black cat named Luna from some mean boys. Well, Luna's all magic, and she gives Serena the power to become Sailor Moon. Her and the other Sailor Scouts are the Guardians of Earth, and they fight off the forces of evil. And we're looking at the Sailor Moon-esque movie, Hearts in Ice. In this movie, there's an evil ice woman up in space that really wants to get on Earth and turn it into ice. But she got stopped by a bright light many years ago, so she's gonna try again. But she loses a piece of this comet that's gonna help her do that, and it goes to Earth. Kakaru, who likes looking at the moon from his observatory, sees the comet land and then he picks it up and takes it home. Cut to the sailors, they're all hanging out and having fun. Well, Luna's sick and she decides to go home alone. On her way home, this car is about to isekai her, but Kakaru jumps in the road and saves her.
What are you, crazy?
Yo, he is crazy, don't do that. Kakaru takes Luna home and nurses her back to health. He puts her in his bed under a blanket. He gets a towel all cold and he wipes her sweat. Then he stays in the chair all night while she sleeps, watching over her. Look at how much space is on that bed. She's on a pillow, man. Just put the pillow on the chair next to the bed. You lay down too. Look, I'm not saying animals don't matter, but it's a cat you found on the street. You don't gotta too much effort. Kakaru's girlfriend comes over and she's an astronaut, right? Well, they argue because he believes there's a princess on the moon and he calls her Princess Kaguya, and she doesn't believe him. She doesn't believe there's a princess on the moon, and they kind of argue about it and she leaves. What a crazy hang up. Listen to this.
Blackie?
He's trying to figure out her name, but context is important. When I just play that, it ain't right.
Eggland murderer! Hold your fire! This man isn't black!
Well, Luna likes how kind and gentle Kakeru is. And that's right, she's catching feelings. This cat is catching feelings for this man. Well, the evil space lady sends some of her ice monsters to start icing the world, and they have a very annoying sound they make. And they make it a lot. The sailors who are out looking for Luna transform, and it takes a while. 20 minutes of this movie is cutscenes of them transforming and doing their attacks. They start fighting off all the evil ice monsters. During the fight, Tuxedo Mask shows up like this.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year!
He had to do that. He had to dress up as Santa, then get on that blimp to make that entrance. He saw that everyone needed help in the fight and made the time to do that instead. Also, what the fuck is Jupiter saying here? They beat up those monsters, and everybody in town, they got iced up when the monster showed up. And then when they beat them up, the ice just disappears. And my people just started walking around. They're just like, okay, cool, that's over. Yo, they're chill. Luna comes back to her friends. Woo, everybody's happy. She starts researching the comet that Kakeru found. And Kakeru got sick, so she's learning medicine to try to help him. But the comet is draining his life force. We know that, but they don't. Luna goes into Kakeru's room, and he wakes up. He talks to her for a little bit and passes out. She watches him while he's asleep. And she blushes. Ooh. And she kisses him. Yo, something about a cat kissing a person and blushing is weird. That's just weird. Kakeru has a hard stance on that moon shit, man.
I can't accept the fact that you think the moon is nothing but just an object that floats around the earth. It just can't work.
Later on, Sailor Moon follows Luna and they talk about her being in love and all that. Luna gives a speech. The evil woman comes back and gets her comet using the life force it drains from Kakeru to power up this ice castle. Now it's all big and she's got more ice powers. Then Artemis remembers a story about a long time ago. An ice storm was gonna destroy Earth, but the power of love and friendship stopped it. I'm not joking.
There was an evil planet that rained ice crystals. It existed millions of years ago, but silver crystal power, the power of love and friendship, melted the icy darkness and released the Earth. Sound familiar?
But check this out. Luna thinks that if she can turn into a human and pretend to be Princess Kaguya, it will make Kakeru so happy that it breaks him from the crystal's control. What a wild conclusion to come to. Well, the sailors are fighting Evil Lady and all her ice monsters, and no matter how many of them they defeat, she summons more, and the fight is looking hopeless. Sailor Moon goes to use the silver crystal, which can channel the power of love and friendship. The sailors gather around her, and Tuxedo Mask shows up, and he defends them while they hold hands and love each other and be friends really hard. Sailor Moon gathers that energy into a beam and fires it, and there's a beam struggle. Oh, who's gonna win? And they're losing. Then she thinks about all the beauty and life on Earth, and with those pretty thoughts in her head, she wins the beam struggle and defeats the evil ice lady. They win that fight. After the bad guy blows up, Sailor Moon makes a wish for Luna to become a human for one night. What? That thing makes wishes? Maybe we'll get more answers when we watch the Sailor Moon show for the 90s video. The wish works. Luna becomes Princess Kaguya, then takes Kakeru on a magical space flight full of adventure and wonder. He breaks free from the power the comet had over him. She was right. It worked. Himiko kind of sees them out there and believes in the Moon Princess now. The day is saved. How Christmas was this? They'd have a Santa, and it's wintertime, and there was a lot of romance and togetherness. Sailor Moon is a classic. But what is the classic of classics?
Soaring high in the skies.
Astro Boy. Astro Boy is about a scientist named Dr. Tenma. He lost his son in an accident, so he made a robot that looked like him and acted like a boy, but that didn't fill the void in his heart, so he sold him to a circus. Dr. Elephant finds out about this and rescues the robot and takes him in. He names him Astro Boy and teaches him how to help people. And we're looking at episode 13, titled The Light Ray Robot. There's a robot exhibit / competition where they show off the Light Ray Robot, an invisible robot. Everyone is in awe, and Light Ray wins the competition, but the evil skunk steals the robot, then uses it to rob banks and jewelry stores. You see, the robots have child brains. They don't know good from bad, so whatever skunk tells it, it listens. Astro sees that Light Ray is doing robberies, so he goes out to stop him, and he messes up a sting operation and scuffles with Light Ray for a bit. Then that night, Light Ray comes to see Astro in his room. He noticed that Astro was like him, and he got questioned. Why we different? That's how he sounds.
I'm a robot?
Light Ray didn't even know it was a robot. all he knows is to steal things, to do bad things. Astro takes him around the town to show him how to do good things. You gotta catch hats that fly away from people, and you gotta stop ladies from being harassed. The town's all full of Christmas, and Astro tells Light Ray what Christmas is. Then he invites him to his Christmas party that they're gonna have tomorrow night. When Light Ray shows up to the party, it's going all right, but Daddy Walrus comes in and puts a tracker on him. Then he paints his legs red. Light Ray gets scared and runs away, but they trace him to Skunk's hideout. Skunk, who tells Light Ray to take a time bomb to Daddy Walrus's house, but Light Ray just walks away. Astro breaks into the hideout and catches Skunk and his crew, but Light Ray's gone. They hear that Light Ray has a time bomb on him and it's gonna go off in 2 hours. They track down Light Ray and he's getting close to a hospital. He don't know no better. He likes the bomb. He thinks it's neat. He don't know what it is, man. The cops get this electrical decomposer ready just in case. By the time Astro spots Light Ray, they only have a few seconds left. They can't help him, so they fire the electrical decomposer and blast Light Ray. Light Ray and the bomb become ashes in the snow. Astro is sad, but he understands why they did it. Merry Christmas. We had some Christmas in there, an attempt at a Christmas party, and the town was all Christmased out and trying to teach people who don't know what Christmas is the good of it, trying to show people the right path. I think there's a little Christmas in that. Yeah, we're starting to peek at some Christmas spirit now. Could use some more giant robots though. But we're turning to Martian successor Nadesico. Nadesico is about a company called Nergal that has created the most advanced space battleship, the Nadesico. They grabbed a crew from the best of the best, but the majority of them are civilians and not military. They're all wacky and outside of military control. Our stars are Eureka, the bright and cheery captain who's never been defeated, and Akito, a cook who acts as a substitute pilot. They just go off in space and fight the evil Jovian lizards. We're looking at episode 13, titled There Is No Single Truth. And in this episode, it's Christmas time. Right at the start, they're decorating for a Christmas party and singing songs. But due to some recent issues, the Nadesico is in a lot of debt to the military. To settle up, the Nadesico and his crew are all handed over. Everyone who decides to stay has to become a soldier. And 2 weeks ago, there was a crash on the moon, and they're probably going to be sent to go check that out. Except for Akito. They kick him off because of his past behavior. They also replace him with this pilot, Sailey. Akito has to leave and Eureka's all broken up about it. They kind of got a thing going on. But that Hoochie Megumi decides to leave with him. Every woman on this ship has a thing for Akito. It's one of those shows. It's a good show, I promise. The crew of the Nadesico go ahead with the party. Everyone's all dressed up and having fun, except for Eureka, who's sad about Akito being gone. Well, during the party, the Jovians attack with huge mechs. These mechs are ridiculous size. They're like skyscraper big. Our guys' mechs are not that big at all. They're like building size. They start blasting the city and the Nadesico has to stop them. When the fight starts, everyone is still in costume, which is a nice attention to detail. They didn't have time to change. So often in shows, they're just magically in their uniforms. The enemy's teleporting around and they can't stop it. So Sailey jumps on it and is all, ha, you can't get away now. It teleports. And when it arrives at its new destination, her mech is crushed. What's that about? Let's cut over to Akito. Miss Wan here approaches him and says she has a job for him. Yo, look at his face while they're talking to him. What the fuck is he doing? Why does he look like that? Basically, the enemy can teleport and our guys can't. When they try to, pilots just get crushed. But Akito can teleport. They don't know why, but they want to use him and see why. He turns her down, but when he sees that the crew of the Nadesico is in trouble, he grabs a bunch of the crystals that let you teleport. He throws them at the enemy mech and they both get sucked into the sky. And then everybody's sad that Akito is dead. But he calls them. He's been on the moon for 2 weeks. He was that thing that crash landed there that they were gonna get sent to investigate. The teleportation is kind of time traveling. Akito calls Eureka and lets her know he's alive. Look at that. They had a Christmas party. Some romance, singing and cheer while it lasted. Death. You know what we could use some more of? Magical girls.
The powers were set free. Card captors, a mystic adventure. Card captors, a quest for all time.
We're turning the Card Captor Sakura. Card Captor Sakura stars our hero Sakura. One day she went into her basement and opened a book that had a bunch of magical cloud cards in there. The cards all take on forms like a fire monster and go out in the world. Guardian of the Cloud Cards, Keto, comes out and tells Sakura that it's up to her to get all the little monsters back and capture them in these cards. And then she can use the cards to use the abilities that the monsters possess. And we're looking at episode 35, Sakura's Wonderful Christmas. And it's Christmas time. She's wondering what to get Yukino, the boy she likes, for Christmas. Her and her friends are all wondering what to get for the boys they like. And she goes to her frenemy, Mei Ling, for advice, who tells her that it's not about the present, but the thought behind it. That night, she spends a full minute of showtime working up the courage to call Yukino and asks if he wants to go to the amusement park with her. He says yes, it's a date. Yo, he's tall. She a 4th grader. I don't know what grade he in, but he a 4th grader. He tall. They start dating around the amusement park. Some of the stuff in the background is catching on fire. Lee and Mei Ling are there too. So the four of them start hanging out. They stop to eat and then a lot of stuff starts catching on fire. So Lee and Sakura move into action. They know it's gotta be a cloud card. Lee stops time with the time card and then Sakura uses the sleep card to put everyone in the amusement park to sleep. Now they can't run from the fire so they all burn up and die. Nah, I'm joking. Then she summons the wind to put out the fires, but it just spreads the fire. Kato tells her that the wind isn't enough and the one that they're fighting is indeed the fire cloud card. Sakura uses the combined power of wind and water. Together they blast the fire out of the sky. Then Sakura card captures the cloud card, obtaining the fire card. After that, Yukito and Sakura get on a Ferris wheel. Yukito says, "Boy, I sure was sleepy, haha." That's what you think happened, bruh? You think you just caught narcolepsy all of a sudden with 100 other people? Sakura gives him the gift she made him. It's a little doll of himself. The voice actor for Yukito is clearly a woman doing a teenage boy voice, and it sounds goofy sometimes.
Wow, did you make this?
Yeah.
Thank you.
He loves the gift. Then Keto makes a bunch of sparkles around the Ferris wheel and makes it a beautiful night, one they'll never forget. Yukito says that they should come back again next year when she's in 5th grade. Sakura looks over the scene, embracing the moment. Romance, a gift made by hand from the heart, fighting fire demons. How Christmas. But I notice a distinct lack of interdimensional war. Luckily, we have Line Barrels of Iron. Line Barrels stars Koichi. He's a kid that's bullied in school. Well, one day he's walking through a forest when a giant robot lands on him, killing him. The girl inside the robot, Kizuki, asked the robot named Line Barrel to spare his life. Now his life is tied to Line Barrels, and he has superhuman powers and can regenerate quickly. And he can summon Line Barrel, and he starts using it to be a hero of justice. He says the word justice a lot, and we're looking at episodes 10 and 11, titled Overdrive and Supernova. And it's Christmas time. Koichi's friends are planning a Christmas party, and so is Judah, the organization that Koichi works at now. Over at Judah, they make the girls dress all skimpy in Santa Claus outfits, and everyone there is setting up decorations and getting into the mood. A jolly spirit. He thinks the work parties are weird, but most of the people here don't have a family. The twins lost their parents when they was young. Kizuki don't know who she is. She got amnesia. Miyu lost her parents when she was littler. Yamashita was a sickly kid who was nursed back to health by the Judah Corporation. Judah is their family. They go out shopping and get gifts for everyone. Then the enemy, the Kato organization, blows up an island. They've taken over an American satellite and they're gonna start using it to attack all over the world. They want to destroy Christmas, and Judah has to stop them. They assign Koichi and Yamashita to the mission. They get with these other soldiers and they head off into space. While they're off in space doing that, Kato attacks all over Earth with ground troops. And then when they get to the satellite, the enemy mech is piloted by this freak master, dude, Osei. Osei uses the satellite to attack several countries at once. These poor folks were just enjoying a bit of Christmas when they got laser bombed. He does it all while eating chicken all grossly. They have 6 minutes between each satellite shot. Koichi's trying to beat him up, but he's a tough opponent. The troops on the ground are losing for a little while, but they get some backup and they start pushing the enemy back. While they're up in there trying, Yamashita has to blow up a bunch of neighboring satellites. Down at Judah, Yui moves in a chair and her tits go wild. That was not necessary. Yo, they played a noise for it. There's like this intense scene where everybody's in a war and everybody's fighting, and they was like, you know what this could use? Some of that. Osei's moving too fast for them to hit, and when they do get a hit, they just get his armor and he's fine. And they're out of time, and he has a satellite aimed at several major cities. They have no choice but to surrender. The boss comes over and tells Koichi to put it all down. Pack it up, man, come home. Koichi says there has to be another way. The chief says, well, the world is on your shoulders. What will you do? Koichi says, we just have to destroy the satellite. And he's gonna use up all of Line Barrel's power to destroy it. Then he tells Yamashita it's gonna be up to him to catch him because he's gonna crash land on Earth after that. Osei thinks he's won. He's gonna destroy Christmas forever.
Farewell to the throngs of pathetic humans and their addiction to the illusion they call Christmas.
Koichi charges up, but so's the satellite. Well, Koichi's charged up first, and he shoots and destroys the satellite and Osei. He saved the world, but he's gonna crash land, and he's coming in hot. I like saying that. But Yamashita reaches out and grabs him with his long hands, and the enemies on the ground retreat. Koichi and Yamashita come out of their mechs, and all the troops cheers. Woo! Woo! Our heroes have won a Christmas miracle. Judah has their Christmas party. Look at their building. The lights outside, it makes a tree. Moritsugu tells Yamashita that he did a good job. And they all have fun. Koichi gives Kizuki a gift. It's a necklace. She loves it. Then Koichi goes to his friend's Christmas. A perfect Christmas night. How Christmas was this? Togetherness, gifts, love, and war. Saving the entire world's Christmas? That's a big thing. Now let's get something a little more lighthearted for the fans at home. We'll find that with Wotakoi. Love is hard for otaku. Our main characters here are Narumi and Hirotaka, two childhood friends who grew apart for a while, but now they both work at the same office. Narumi likes to appear like a normie, but she's really a fujoshi, a woman who really likes to read yaoi and ships men together in her head. Hirotaka is big into gaming, spending most of his time and money on games, and the two of them start dating. But it's not a simple relationship, and there's all kinds of funny mishaps. And we're looking at episode 6, titled The Bleak Christmas. One of their friends, Kabukura, is hard at work. He's dating Koyanagi here, who's annoyed because last year they didn't do anything for Christmas. She's complaining to Narumi, who is very excited about her Gacha Games Christmas event. They're giving away a free character. Yo, I know that feeling. They make you think that they're doing you a favor. All them games are scams, and I love them because it's all just gambling. You're just always trying to get that 5-star. Just gambling. I love gambling. After work, Narumi and Hirotaka walk around the city where decorations are all up. Christmas is everywhere. She asked him when he stopped believing in Santa Claus. He says probably really young since he figured out where his parents kept the presents early on. Narumi says she believed in Santa Claus until she was in middle school. What about you folks at home? For me, I remember in kindergarten we learned about Santa one day. It was my first time hearing about him. And I was like, whoa, a guy brings us presents? So I went home and asked my parents about it, and they said, no, he isn't real. We give you everything you've ever had. And that was that. While walking around the city, they run into Hirotaka's brother now. He's dressed up as Santa, handing out free coffee samples for a cafe he works at. 3 of them remember Christmas they spent together when they were little, where Hirotaka pinched his brother's cheeks because it reminded him of Mario 64 face stretcher thing. Y'all remember that? Now says standing outside all day is really cold, but he likes his job. He enjoys making people smile. He thinks that feeling is the real Santa Claus. Damn, man, that's beautiful. Later on, Kabukura takes Koyanagi out to a fancy restaurant to try and make up for last year. She gives him a gift, a little toy from a show he likes. At home, Narumi and Hirotaka are playing Monster Hunter, and she's fired up about not getting a Kushala gem. They order some food and are just chilling at home. How Christmas was this? Being around people that you love, talking about nothing important, enjoying the moment. This episode was simple and really showed off the essence of togetherness. Someone you can do nothing with and have a great time. Alright, we haven't had anything that's too wacky, but I have a feeling we're gonna find that in our next one. The Brave Fighter X Kaiser. X Kaiser is about the cosmic police who are chasing the evil Dino Geist through space. They land on Earth and take over different vehicles and transform into giant robots. With the help from young Koda here and his family, they always bring down the Geisters, whose goal is to steal anything that humanity deems a treasure. We covered this show in the 90s video, yo, I remembered that this Christmas episode stuck out to me, so I was like, yo, I gotta add it. We're looking at episode 44, titled There's a lot of Santas. Everyone in Koda's family is excited for Christmas, but X Kaiser and the other cosmic police don't understand what Santa is. And Papa gets told he has to attend a company Christmas party and miss some of the Christmas. Oh no! The Geisters decide that they want to ruin Christmas. They see that people treasure Santa, and they all go out to steal every Santa they can find. Well, Mama's dressed up as Santa. Look, Kentucky Fried Chicken. They see the trouble on TV, and Koda calls X Kaiser, and the group moves into action. X Kaiser starts beating up the Decepticons. I mean, evil dinosaur robots. Well, they beat them up pretty quick and free the Santas. They never caught Mama, so they look for her and they find that she's winning a raffle prize, a trip to Egypt for her family. Yo, that's great. Merry Christmas. The news is broadcasting the world's largest Santa statue. It's a big one. They hope that one day this statue will be known as a symbol for love and peace around the world. That's pretty fucking optimistic. Hope nothing happens to it. Well, the Geister robots have this little football robot bug. It can turn anything into an evil robot, and they put it on the Santa statue and it turns into a giant jacked evil Santa robot. X Kaiser shows up and starts catching them hands, man. Look at evil Santa slow-mo catch this kick. He cracks the knucks on him, but X Kaiser's homies show up and save him from getting stomped on. They distract the Santa long enough for X Kaiser to do his minute-long transformation to go super mode. He kicks Santa down, but the old guy's still got a trick in his bag. He combines with his reindeer to form evil jacked reindeer centaur Santa. With 2 reindeer heads at the butt, the beating continues and Ex-Kaiser gets the hooves and his homies get bit. But Ex-Kaiser gets free and summons his sky sword. But evil jacked Santa reindeer centaur grabs a Christmas tree and uses it as a lance. Then they charge at each other, evenly matched. But Ex-Kaiser uses his ultimate flash move and cuts Santa in half, saving Christmas. Afterwards, the family's at home enjoying Christmas dinner. Papa gets there and brings presents. Mama says that the best present of all is that he's home safe. They even sing Jingle Bells at the end. How Christmas was this? Being together at the end after a harrowing fight against evil to celebrate and eat with loved ones. Opening presents, saving Christmas from the evil geisters. Wonderful. But we haven't seen a single show about kids who use monsters to fight other monsters. Digimon Adventure 2. Digimon is about the Digidestined. They all get transported to the digital world where they get Digivices and little monsters called Digimon. The monsters can transform and get stronger, and together they protect the digital and real world from the forces of evil. We're looking at episode 38, A Very Digi Christmas, parentheses, Holy Night, the Big Digimon Big Gather, close parentheses. And in this episode, it's Christmas. Ken is nervous, but he invites all of his friends to a Christmas party, even the Digimon. Everyone accepts. They also get the original Digidestined's Digimon as a surprise for them. The original group meet up, everybody's got their Digimon, Matt's gonna have a Christmas concert. They're all gonna watch. While the current crew all hang out at Ken's place. They're having a great time. But while everyone's having fun, a bunch of evil Digimon show up all around the city, causing mayhem. So all the kids get out there and Digivolve their Digimon and beat them all up. Much like every show with transformation sequences. They take a couple minutes transforming. There's too many bad guys though. So they group a bunch of them up and send them back into the digital world with this portal. Then they DNA Digivolve at the end to take care of the rest. After the battle, everyone goes home and they enjoy the night together with their loved ones. How Christmas was this? This was all fun reunions between old friends, spending time with new ones, fighting giant monsters. Things are ramping up in the Christmas department. But you know what we haven't been yet? Severely depressed, yes. Angel Beats. To put it very simply, Angel Beats takes place in a high school that's in limbo, where everyone here has to get over their traumas from life before they can pass on. We're looking at episode 7, titled Alive. Our main depressed kid is Otonashi. He doesn't remember anything from his past life, and in this episode, they're gonna use some hypnosis to help him get his memories back. He's scared that if he remembers his past, he'll be able to pass on. He doesn't really want to. He loves hanging out with everybody here. Well, they sit down and start, and Otonashi starts to remember. In life, he was lethargic. He hated school, having to pretend to laugh and pretend to like everybody. He found that exhausting. The only thing he cared about was his little sister, who was hospitalized with cancer. He works a part-time job to make enough scratch for food and to buy his little sister manga every now and then. He used to chill with her in the hospital room, just sit in a chair while she read manga. She had a lot of hope in life. You know, she was a kid with cancer, but she still wanted to go out and do things, and he loved that she had hope. He wished that he could trade places with her. She seemed to want to live, and he didn't care about life at all. Damn. Then Otonashi gets the idea to take her out on Christmas. His sister wants to go check out Main Street, where they put up all the lights every year. He tells her he'll take her, and she gets excited. Takes a second part-time job to make enough money to take her out and buy her stuff, take her somewhere nice to eat. He asks the doctors if it's okay to take her out, but they say her condition is getting worse and she shouldn't leave. So Otonashi sneaks her out of the room, takes her out anyways. He carries her on his back and shows her all the lights. Isn't this great, sis? Let's go buy you something nice. He walks a little further, but she dies on his back. But now his reason to live is gone. Afterwards, he's walking around thinking what he's gonna do with his life. And he walks by a hospital and sees a little girl that didn't die. Then he decides to hit the books. Maybe he can help other people to make sure this sort of thing doesn't happen as often. He works really hard and improves his grades. Things are looking up. Then on a train one day, an earthquake hits and he dies in the accident. He died shortly after figuring out his dream in life. Merry Christmas. Otonashi comes back from remembering. He cries for a while. Then he decides to stay around. He can't pass on with this regret in his heart. There's a second part of the episode where they go fishing, but it has nothing to do with Christmas. How Christmas was that? It was thoroughly depressing, wasn't it? To me, that's the second side of Christmas you don't always see. A lot of people take themselves out this time of year, and it's tough. But it was also full of love and second chances, togetherness, him finding a new reason to live. There's hope there. But you know what screams Christmas like nothing else? Cops. You're under arrest. Our main law enforcers here are Natsumi and Miyuki. They work for the Tokyo PD and have to deal with all kinds of wacky criminals and cases. It's just a funny show. We're looking at episode 11, titled Santa Claus Panic. The officers at the precinct are getting ready for Christmas. They're decorating a tree, and love is in the air. Miyuki's knitting a sweater for Nakajima, while Nakajima's getting them some restaurant reservations. He hasn't asked her out yet, though. While on patrol, they see some kids excited about Christmas. Though Maho here says that she saw Santa last night, but he was robbed robbing them of their jewelry and money. She gets sad that Santa's a bad man. They tell her it was a fake, and they're gonna catch this guy that stole stuff from her home. Natsumi gives a speech, and people show up. It was funny.
Thank you very much.
They get on the case. While on patrol, they get a report of a weird Santa Claus and they check it out. While it is a weirdo, instead of the thief, it's Strike Man, a weirdo that they deal with from time to time in other episodes. And this is his motorcycle's name.
His Christian name happens to be Black Dragon Richard Mason Harold de Pleon Plim Stuart Kwaswaki III.
I'll bet you can't say that again.
Huh? Black Dragon Richard Menthol Allergen with the pudding Alamo the Third.
His cookie's short a nut.
His cookie is short a nut. But while they're dealing with him, the Santa thief robs another house. Right after they chase Strike Man some more and lose him, they find the real thief. And they chase him but then lose him, because he turns onto the street with a bunch of Santa Clauses. Then at the park, the Santa thief litters and Strike Man beats his ass. Our cops show up and Strike Man runs. And when they try to help the Santa that got beat up, they see that he's the thief when they check his bag, and he's under arrest. That night, they have Nakajima dress up as Santa and go into Maho's room, give her a present. That's a little teddy bear, but they missed the reservation at the restaurant. Well, Nakajima gives him the sweater she made him, and they share a moment, and then the kids enjoy their Christmas, and it's over. How Christmas was this? Cops out trying to protect Christmas any way they can, bringing spirit to kids who are on the brink of losing it. Does it get more Christmas than that? Yes. What about a sense of community though? I think we're gonna find that in the next one. Neo-Ranga. After their brother dies, the Shimabara sisters inherit the island of Bado. Being the rulers of Bado, they also gain control of the island's god, Neo-Ranga, which is a huge monster thing. They bring him back to Japan and he becomes a bit of a problem and a hero. We're looking at episodes 35 and 36, titled What Happened to Christmas Eve? And Christmas in Crisis. And it's Christmas. The sisters are all excited except for Yuhi. She hates Christmas, but they don't know why. Well, there's this evil organization of people called the Kyoshinkai who want to do away with Christmas. They think that if they can force the people to quit Christmas, they can invoke whatever feelings they want on them and control them. Kind of like, hey, if we can make them believe this thing, we can make them believe whatever we want. Back at the sisters, Joel here is from Bado. He doesn't know what Christmas is. He asks Yuhi why she hates Christmas, but she doesn't know why. She just does. The Kyoshinkai released this plant monster that goes downtown where Christmas is in full, and it starts to destroy things and cover buildings and manipulate the media, making them believe that the plant is attacking because it wants things to go back to a more natural state, that things like Christmas are frivolous and bad for the world. The people buy into it and start throwing away everything Christmas and give up the holiday, except for Musashino, a city in Tokyo. A company there approaches the Shimabara sisters and offers them a lot of money for them to help put on a Christmas show. Minami and Ushio are stressed out about it, but Yuhi is happy about Christmas being canceled. She doesn't want to be a part of their show, but Joel asks nicely. Yuhi's gonna do it, but while she's there, she's gonna make Ranga go on a rampage while the show's going on. That'll show everybody. She makes sure that Joel doesn't tell anybody though. On the day of the show, the stage is a big tree and the girls come out. They say hey to the crowd and everybody's all cheer. Woo, yeah! But Ranga's acting weird because the plant monster shows up and they start fighting. During the fight, they turn on the Christmas music by accident and it plays for the whole fight. Ranga's beating it up pretty easily, but the monster uses these seeds to drain all of the water out of Ranga. And as we all know, Ranga's power comes from water. That's happening for a little bit, pretty slowly for real. Everybody's kind of chill. The fight itself is really slow. I mean, it's a realistic take on giant monsters fighting, because I guess they would be pretty slow. But then it starts to snow and Ranga absorbs the snow and gets people eyes and rips the plant monster in half. Then he pops off. Joel says it might have been a good thing. Yuhi was gonna rampage. And then he says he might get why she hates Christmas now. Yuhi hates Christmas because she thinks it's fake. She doesn't like how people just start being cheery only around this time of year. People were acting that way just because of the holidays. She could see that people were truly miserable. How Christmas was this? You know, I think Yuhi was right. While Christmas is fun, that doesn't mean it should bring stress and fake cheer. Sometimes we need to see what Christmas shouldn't be about to remember what it should be. Now, we've had some wild stuff, but this next show, the train is about to go off the rails. And as we all know, a train needs rails. Kyoran Kazoku. I'll just read the online description. Thousands of years ago, Enka, the god of destruction, was killed. However, with a dying breath, it claimed that his child would appear and destroy humanity. Now in futuristic Japan, all of the potential children of Enka have been found and placed into a haphazard family. Teika, the lion, Gekka, the jellyfish, Yuka, the oni, Ginka, the cross-dressing mafia son, and Hyoka, the bioweapon, along with their parents, Oka and Kyoka, who is the ruler of a demon underworld, all live under one roof in a family frenzy. and we'll be looking at episode 21, titled Black Santa is Sleepless in the Night. It opens up with Santa's granddaughter. She wants to spend time with Santa on Christmas, but he's always out delivering presents. So this year she's gonna dress up as and ruin Christmas. Over at the Enka house, Kyoka's fired up that no one told her about Christmas. She wants a present from Santa for every present she never received growing up, but only kids get presents, so she gets depressed. She locks herself in her room for about a week. She's been working on a plan. Then when she comes out and asks Hyoka for help, Hyoka eats like this. Santa's granddaughter shows up at their house and sets off a ton of traps. Hyoka set those traps trying to get the real Santa and got her. So Kyoka's treating this girl like the real Santa Claus, and she asks why she's never been given a present. She wants every present she's owed now, plus interest. Well, the girl says that she's just an apprentice Santa, so it's not her fault, and she's just doing his job by herself. She's lying, but they buy it. Right after that, Hyoka sees the real Santa in the sky. Now what do you think happens next? 1. She sees through the girl's lie. B. The girl continues into a new lie. Or she shoots the new Santa with a bazooka. The answer is or. She hits him with that bazooka and he just explodes out of the sky. And before the girl can even mourn her grandfather, Kyoka has a new idea. She's gonna help the girl become a full-fledged Santa. They set up a Santa station on top of this skyscraper, and they have a bunch of employees that they have monitoring gifts for that people want, and people dressed up as Santa to head out and deliver gifts. Everyone has fun delivering presents for a little while. It's cute. They deliver a present to this kid in the streets, and this other boy sleeping on the ground outside, and then to this boy sleeping with an AK. That's inclusive. It caught me off guard. You don't normally see that in anything Santa related. It's usually just kids with homes that get gifts, at most an orphan. But a child soldier? That's how sweet. While they're up at the Santa station, they detect an object approaching their base at high velocity. It's the real Santa who's risen from the rubble. He lands and Kyoka commands her troops to shoot him, but they can't shoot Santa Claus, man. And he's pissed off. So he flexes so hard that his clothes rip off. And he's, you see, he looks black, which is cool to me. Then the title of the episode changes a little bit. And Santa and Kyoka start fighting, and they're evenly matched. Santa's about to push her off the side of the skyscraper, but she grabs some grenades with her tail and gets away. She's kind of far away, taunting him. And then Santa shoots a Hadouken, but he says, Kyoka has to use her secret ultra punch though, and socks him a good one. She's about to finish him off when the granddaughter stops her. Then grandpa and granddaughter have a moment. Kyoka gets mad because she don't understand what's happening, but her family comes up and everyone has a gift for her. Aw, she loves everything they gave her. The granddaughter can't see why they're all so happy. Santa says, don't you see, giving a present is a piece of happiness itself. Then he asks if she wants to come with him, and they set out to deliver the rest of the presents together. How Christmas was this? Gift giving for someone who's never had a Christmas, delivering presents to children all around the world who normally never get any, helping loved ones reconcile, fighting a Jack Santa. This was an excellent amount of Christmas. Now what could possibly get more Christmas? Hamtaro. Hamtaro is a hamster with a bunch of hamster friends. They call themselves the Ham Hams and do little hamster adventures. We're looking at episode 25, titled Merry Christmas. The entire city is in full Christmas, and the hams are decorating the clubhouse. They're all moving around wacky styles, setting up decorations. After they put up the tree, they wonder what it's even for. They just copy people's stuff. They don't know what it's all about. Decorating is just fun, and they're hamsters. They see the humans put presents under the trees. They know who Santa is though, and they're all excited to get presents. Except for Boss. See, Boss is a field hamster. Santa doesn't come to field hamsters. It has very Santa don't go to the hood vibes, and I can assure you, he don't. The Ham Hams try to tell Boss it's not about presents. Christmas is about feeling, being together. Maybe if he isn't naughty, Santa will show up. The next day, he cleans up the clubhouse and tries to have manners. When the others notice that he's doing all this to get presents from Santa, they go, uh-oh, Santa doesn't go to the hood. And if Boss doesn't get a present after trying so hard, he's gonna be crushed. The Ham Hams decide to go look for Santa and see if he can do anything about it. And they know where Santa's at, the mall. For a couple of wacky hams, that might as well be the North Pole. And they find a Santa Claus holding these balloons, giving away free ones. I've never seen that before in my life. I've never been anywhere where somebody's just giving away single free balloons. They find the Santa Claus holding these balloons. They don't know if they should just go ask him. So they decide to wish at him. They put their hands together and wish at him in a group. It does nothing, as most prayer does, and they realize that he isn't the real Santa. They head back to the clubhouse hoping that Santa heard their wish. And Boss is still being mighty nice. They have a backup plan where everyone will bring him a gift tomorrow. And Boss is so excited about Santa coming to visit, and that night we get a montage of everyone at home while they all sing a Christmas song. And then it's Christmas morning. Hamtaro gets a new wheel. What more could a ham want? Then he races to the clubhouse where everybody's waiting outside, worried about what might have happened. None of them brought presents. None of them did the idea they had where they were just gonna bring a present. So they're like all worried. But Boss is inside, bouncing around all happy. Santa left him a purple ball. What? Santa did come to the field hamsters this year. A perfect Christmas. How Christmas was this? Little critters that hardly know what Christmas even is. They still know all the fundamentals, being together and caring about one another. Presents and Santa Claus, trees and decorating. If you ask me, that was pretty damn Christmas. Out of all the 60 or so specials that I watched, I found one show to be most Christmas. Now if the production team could cue that one up for me. Big O. This show stars Roger Smith, a negotiator. In this show, that means he pilots a giant robot and fucks people up. The setting is Paradigm, a city surrounded by a wasteland. 40 years ago, an event happened that destroyed everything outside of Paradigm and gave everyone amnesia. He lives with Dorothy, an android, who's just understanding human feelings, and Norman, his butler. And we're looking at episode 11, Demon Seed. And it's getting close to Heaven's Day in Paradigm. There's a big countdown in the city. Dorothy's buying a tie for Roger at a Gucci stall, but the word Gucci only has one C. She don't know it's knockoff, man. She's just an android. While walking around in town, Roger sees a man playing a mean sax, and he flips him a coin. Back home, Norman explains Heaven's Day to Dorothy. It sounds a lot like Christmas. Roger doesn't like Heaven's Day though. It's supposed to be a celebration of when Paradigm was founded, and he has forsaken Paradigm. After he says this, Dorothy walks away from the dinner table, upset. Norman tells Roger that Heaven's Day is Dorothy's birthday. Roger didn't know that, so he goes out to buy her a dress. The sax man from earlier, his name's Oliver. He goes home to his blind girlfriend Laura. He puts food on her plate, but since they're poor, he doesn't have anything to eat. So he pretends to eat, so it sounds like he's eating to her because she's blind. Man, that shit broke my heart. Later, Oliver's looking at this expensive coat and he thinks it would look great on Laura. He wish he had money to buy it. Well, Roger shows up and just buys it on the spot. Then Oliver has to get back to work throwing trash away. Ooh, the two sides of the holidays, man. People who window shop and people who just get whatever they want. On his way home, Oliver is met by creepy, crazy Santa Claus, who gives him a green gem and walks away. Roger gets a call from Alex Rosewater, the chairman of Paradigm. Alex received a letter saying that in 7 days the world will be reborn, and it's been 5 days, so they only have 2 days until Heaven's Day and to figure out what's going on. So all of Gotham PD is out looking for any kinds of traps. The main suspect is a scientist that was all about nature restoration. He would say that trees used to be everywhere back in the day, and that we need to go back to that kind of time. See, he got his memories back. Some of these people, they get their memories back from 40 years ago in little snippet, and then they start acting kind of crazy. They also got a second letter that Alex didn't tell Roger about, and it was talking about the end of the world in the book of Revelations. What's going on there? Dorothy finds a lead. See, Oliver has a matching card in his sax to the one that the threat was sent on, so they follow him to his place and ask him some questions. He tells him that everyone around here has one of those cards. The old people around here get together and sing sometimes. They don't know why they sing or what the songs are about, but they're somewhere deep in their memories. Sounds like they're singing Christmas carols or some religious songs they go to this church to do. Oliver tries to sell Roger the green gem thing, but Roger tells him,
"You really shouldn't take the easy way out. It's not artistic, the youth. You must use your pent-up energy to brave your way through the harshness of reality."
Damn. Now it's Heaven's Day, and the bad things are supposed to happen, and they haven't figured out what it is. Dorothy goes to talk to Laura, and she starts asking about love, what it means and all that. Laura just says some gibberish about love and feelings. Honestly, a lot of it didn't really make sense. But does love make sense at all? Yes. Oliver's out in town playing music when the gem turns out to be a seed, and a huge plant grows out of it, and it starts taking over the city and messing things up. So Roger summons Big O, his giant mech. They call it a Mega Deuce. Oliver's all stuck to the plant high up, and he falls. Big O catches him, and then Big O starts ripping the vine. While he's doing that, he's like, "Yo, Norman, I'm kind of busy. Will you go pick up Dorothy's coat from the tailor?" And while Big O's fighting the big plant and it keeps sprouting more vines, Roger, he comes in on a motorcycle, busts into the tailor's building, grabs the tailor and the coat, and then he gets out of there. Big O keeps trying to fight, but he gets grabbed, and he's about to get impaled by the tree, but it stops. It grows into a large Christmas tree, and then it just chills out. The day is saved. Dorothy takes Laura over to the scene where Oliver and her are happy to see each other. He tells her he wasn't able to get her a gift. She says, "That's that's okay. My gift is being with you. And they kiss. Aww. And Roger comes out, asks Oliver to play a jaunty tune, so he plays Jingle Bells on the sax. Then Roger and Dorothy exchange gifts. She gives him his tie. Then Dorothy tries on her coat, and she spins around with that damn look in her eyes. Then it starts to snow, and everybody in the city starts clapping while Oliver plays his sax. And the episode ends. How Christmas was that? I don't know if it can get more Christmas. Nothing but destruction and chaos all around. But everyone still sees the joy in a simple song, and being together under the big ass Christmas tree, and snowy sky, and gifts and love. Loving each other even though they're poor loving each other even though one's an android and doesn't even know what Christmas is. And Roger hating Christmas, but still being willing to celebrate for his friend that he cares about. To me, that's the most Christmas of all. Now, what did we learn from all that Christmas? Some of the shows were pretty crazy. Some of them had a lot of death and murder. Very depressing. But there was a lot of happiness and togetherness and loved ones. Seeing that if the thought is there, then the gift will be good. I disagree with that. Give me money. I want money. Think of giving me money when you think of me. So no matter what Christmas looks like to you, whether it's giant robots, or maybe it looks like Hanukkah or one of the other holidays. Maybe you're like me, where Christmas is just another day of the year. You don't really give it much thought. And if it wasn't for everybody else celebrating it, you would completely forget about it. And you're still pretty happy most of the time. I hope you're doing all right. Peace out. Love you. See you later.